I'm caught in this endless storm with thoughts that are flying around and around out of control. The peace within me is lost. So I call out to you today, and I humbly ask, I need your peace. I need that deep down in your heart kind of peace that stays with me day in and day out. I need the kind of peace that speaks confidently in the wind. And I call for angelic assistance to calm my spirit and all of those attacking thoughts in my mind, the what ifs, the if onlys. They fill me with needless worry, Lord. And I know that trust is such a big, huge part of the human experience. Experiencing peace in that fear has no place in my life moving forward. And I am also fully aware that most of the things that I have worried about most of my life, all the dread, all the worry, all the fear, don't even actually happen. So today, right here, right now, I'm declaring my trust in you. I trust in myself. I trust in my journey. I trust in the signs and signals you send me that all is holy and divine and nothing less. The parts of myself, the pieces that are unglued, are nothing but holy and divine and perfect and nothing less. The highest part of my being that only knows love and only knows light and only knows peace are the pieces I'm taking with me to further my journey. And I'm releasing the reins of my life again and asking my spirit to take control. I may need to say this prayer many, many, many times until I feel it and embody it. But I'm choosing to release the frenzy of life that leaves my schedule and my thoughts without margin. I need more of my soul to shine forth and less of my ego in charge of my life. I surrender and I admit that I cannot control other people. I cannot control the plans in my life. I cannot even control all of the circumstances of my life. But I can yield those things to you, God, to my soul and to my divine helpers, and focus on the goodness and your mercy that surrounds me. Thank you today for every good gift you've ever given me, God. And in this world, every blessing you've ever sent me, all of the forgiveness I did not deserve. And yes, for every trial you've allowed into my life. You bring good out in every circumstance if only I will allow it and believe it. I know that when I pray and I give thanks instead of worrying, you, God, you have promised that I can experience the kind of peace that surpasses all understanding. That's your kind of peace. And that's the kind I crave. So whenever I'm stressed, whenever I'm worried, whenever I'm anxious, whenever I'm afraid, help me remember to open my heart to you, Lord. You are the only one that can calm my fears. Amen. So, we all have been pulled outside of the realms of the normal in the last year. And whether it's been in trivial ways in your life or matters of the heart, I want you to begin to pull yourself back to your center and to find that peace within you. And that's part of why I do this broadcast every week, because we're living in times and in in a world where nothing is as it seems anymore, and people are really having a hard time coming back to trusting and believing and understanding that part of all of this is our learning journey, okay? Many people have lost their faith in the universe and in God, whatever you want to call that, in the last year. Many have really given up on things that used to bring them goodness, used to bring them peace and understanding. Many people have moved into a place where they truly feel that they can handle these times alone, okay? All the isolation and all of everybody kind of being in your own, bubble. And today I want to remind you that it's time for you to team back up with the universe. It's time for all of us to really open our hearts back up and move forward from the storms of 2020, okay? Yes, just like any other traumas that we've been through in our lives, we can choose to leave it right where it's at and move forward. Or we can keep on staying in that dysfunction and in that negativity. So I'm here today to remind you that it's time to calm your storms, guys. It's time to calm your storms. It's time for every single one of us to take that eternal hand of those that walk beside us that we may not see with our physical eyes, and walk hand in hand through these lessons of life together with our people around us, with ourself, with our higher guidance. And in doing that, if we really, we've heard this a million times, but I'm going to say this again, and I'm hoping that you guys actually embody this into your life, okay? If you knew who walked beside you, you would understand that you have absolutely nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear, okay? And I can reassure you that the wisdom of the higher part of yourself, your soul and spirit that is speaking through you, through your higher part of yourself into your heart, which then opens and allows that goodness to manifest in your life here in the three-dimensional world. In the name of all of those divine helpers that you believe in, you can believe in whatever ones you want. I believe in all of it. So, in the name of the one who makes the wind, in the name of the one who makes the waves, in the name of the one who sends that divine intelligence through everything and always, we align with the better, easier path when we allow that to be on the forefront of what we live our lives in, guys. And I know that everybody's still trying to pull ourselves, myself included. I'm almost there, but I have work to do yet too. But we're all trying to pull ourselves back in from those emotional storms that, of 2020, which brought up some extreme negativity, within each of us in our own personal journeys, but also collectively. It brought up and kicked up a lot of extreme negativity that needed to be addressed, you guys. These are things that humans have put on the back burner and avoided dealing with or recognizing for a long time. And as we know in our personal journeys, you can only ignore things for so long before the universe finally stops you in your tracks so that you will actually address these things. So, you've probably been wondering in the last year, I went through this too, just not to the level of a lot of people because I've already worked through a lot of my stuff. I've actually done my work ahead of time, so it wasn't as hard for me. But in 2020, kind of the theme was, for those of us that were actually paying attention, so much of our triggers or our childhood trauma were really, really brought to the surface in 2020. It was like a theme. I saw it so much with working with people. I always see these themes because people come into the clinic or they have appointments with me, or people that are reaching out, it's usually always kind of the same themes. And one of the biggest themes was childhood trauma. And 2020, you guys, was kind of like that eclipse, okay, that brought with it this deep universal inner child healing, which was meant for each of us individually, but also collectively as a whole, okay? But many didn't recognize that. Most people don't recognize it. They're still surface level. So those of us that are the deep thinkers or the outside of the box or the very sensitive humans on the planet, we recognize and we want to heal and restore these places within us where we weren't loved the way we thought we should be loved, or we didn't feel respected, or whatever it is that your story is. You know, the things that happened in 2020 that felt horrific and awful in your life, now is the time for us to really, really understand that the universe was not doing that against you, okay? It was not, you were not being attacked. Your life wasn't being shaken and stirred because there's some God up here in the sky that's laughing and condemning you and punishing you for your sins, okay? That's not what was happening, you guys. It wasn't against you at all, friends. It was not. It was showing you the places and the spaces where you need to do some work, okay? When you have those extreme negative triggers happening, okay, it is the being within you, okay? So it's not anybody outside of yourself targeting you. It's your being within you showing you what needs to be worked out, what needs to be forgiven, what needs to be let go, or even finally processed or understood in a higher and better way, okay? As we've all experienced, when our inner being lovingly, quietly shows us these misalignments, we can easily ignore it. We can easily avoid it because it's like, oh, yeah, I'll work on that. Yeah, no, just keep doing what I'm doing, you know. But when it comes to blows and your inner being is being loud because you haven't heard the gentle nudges, okay? Sometimes because of our wounding or what we've been taught or programmed to believe in society, these things, instead of us recognizing them as a blessing so that we can heal and release, these things sometimes hold us captive. And we're sitting there behind the bars of our own inner prisons and in our human minds, okay? So many people are still sitting in that prison that they put themselves in 2020, and forcing yourselves to hold these negative beliefs about yourself, about your life, about your environment, and about your society, to be honest, and the people around you. So when these triggers keep showing up, it's really, really important to remember that these are actually a blessing from the universe. I know that sounds radical, but they are. You know why they're a blessing? Because you get to then make the choice to release and let go of it and permanently move on from it so it does not affect you any longer. Yes, it's a memory. Yes, it will be there. But the emotional part of you, if you process it, release it, will not trigger or even bother you anymore. You will be able to flip the script and see it as, thank God I learned from that. Thank God I passed that test. Oh, thank God I'm not there anymore. Thank God I see this from a higher perspective now. And honestly, forgiveness always prospers, you guys. Forgiveness always prospers. And I know we hear these things and it's so cliche. Jesus talked about forgiveness and forgiving those that know not what they do. We've heard this our whole lives. Many of us just kind of let it go in one ear and out the other because we've heard it so much. We don't even really understand what forgiveness really truly is, guys. And I want you to understand that. I want you to come to a place in your journey, starting today, starting right now, where you understand truly that the energy and the frequency of new beginnings and starting over with a new perspective on your life. It's your life. You're given one life, and you get to choose how you live it. You get to choose how you see it. And even when there's certain situations that you've carried and held like a bag of rocks over your shoulder for all these years because you thought you had to, or whatever reason, you could never let go of that. Because maybe you're afraid if you don't know who you are without your wounding, right? Because if you let go of your stories and you let go of what you thought you knew about the world, then who would you be? Then what would you do, right? Well, you know, honestly, like a new perspective on life is exactly what the doctor ordered, you guys. And that's why 2020 shook everybody to your core, so you can go, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for showing me what I do not want in my life anymore. And we're all being asked by the higher part of ourselves, okay, and the universe, whatever you believe that to be, to please remember, holding on to yesterday's garbage. By doing that, you are preventing these new beautiful blessings from coming into your life. I promise you that. It will stop your flow. It will stop you from moving forward on your path. And guess what? When your garbage can, which is what I call your emotional field, okay? When your emotional field, your garbage can, and my clients know that I say this all the time, when your garbage can is full, you can only stuff so much trash, you know, in there. And the more trash you stuff in there as negative thoughts, negative actions, or emotions you don't want to deal with, the more you stuff that in your trash can, what happens when you fill your trash can in your kitchen at home? It sits and it festers and it freaking stinks, doesn't it? It reeks, right? So in terms of your life and your emotions and your well-being, your health, your happiness, when you have a full trash can, emotional trash can, it holds you down where you actually think that life stinks. You actually dislike life. You actually see everything as an attack, or everybody attacking you or hating you or hurting you. You know, the universe, whatever you believe that to be, has been pushing all of us in the past year to empty that trash can. In whatever way your soul has been showing you is the way that's highest and best for you, so that humanity, we we're getting off the old school path. We're leaving that old paradigm where we think we have to suffer to be something, okay? We think we have to suffer to get something. And we believe and we think that, you know, no pain, no gain type of stuff. I'm telling you that we're moving into a new paradigm. And this new paradigm we're all moving into is much easier and much more joyful than that, okay? So really, all these things that have filled your trash can are also energetically meant to bring up past issues that are not resolved within you. Why? So you can learn from them, so you can grow from them, so you can move on from them, release them, and understand it in a higher, better way, okay? So 2021, the year we're in now, in numerology is a number 5 year, okay? 5, energetically, represents great change and coming into your life in new beginnings, like moving out of one energetic bubble and stepping onto a new path, okay? So in doing that, whatever seeds you are planting now will bloom later this year. We are always mirroring nature, you guys. Nature is within us. We are within nature. Humans are always mirroring the cycles of nature. So this time of year is really a great time to empty your trash can and prepare to plant new seeds. Okay? Wherever you've been putting your energy, wherever you have been giving your thoughts and all of that to right now is what you're going to manifest this spring. So it's a really good time now to take a peek at your trash can, okay? I want you guys to be able to shift so that you can actually really reap all of the rewards of an easy, loving, flowing life, okay? And this spring solstice that's coming up in March is really, really, really going to start to shift. Like if you look at the astrological alignments and all of, if you know anything about astrology and how the universe lines everything up, like energetically, if you look at 2020 and all of the energy of that, which stirs us up, okay, 2021, although we're still coming into this new year with that energy of trying to, you know, release the traumatic stuff that happened to all of us in 2020, this spring solstice is kind of going to be like the game changer if you do your work, if you align with your universe, okay? All you need to do, though, you guys, is start taking steps forward in the direction of your choosing. That's where the key that unlocks the door comes from. But you must move forward. We got to move forward, guys. We got to stop living in 2020. It's not happening anymore. It's done. It's over with, okay? We need to all start taking the action to move forward. Okay, what are you waiting for? Like, why do you want to stay in that? You know, your new beginning is waiting for you, and spring is coming, you guys, and everything is going to open up for us. And it's the perfect time right now to have those deep and meaningful conversations with loved ones. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I have had deep and meaningful conversations with my children in the past couple weeks where there are things that we went through when they were children where I made choices that made their life hard, okay? After all of these years, it was time for me, and I knew and I felt it strongly, it was time for me to have these conversations with my children, each of them individually, and look them in the eye and say, I am sincerely sorry. Please forgive me. Even though they forgave me a long time ago, I felt they needed to hear me say that so we could both move forward, release that, connect our hearts in a new way, okay? The other thing too is we're learning as a society to actually share your true thoughts and feelings, but do it in a positive and loving way. You don't do it in a degrading way to other people. We've kind of lost that in our society. So those of us that are aware, we have to lead the way for those that are still in the dark. So I urge you today, stop holding back what your heart and soul are screaming to you, okay? It feels much better, and I'm living proof of this. It feels much better after you actually have those conversations with people that you always felt you needed to have. What is it going to hurt? What is it going to hurt to share a loving, authentic, sincere moment of your time with somebody you love? These conversations can not only just move you forward, but they launch the other person forward. They disconnect negativity between you or any kind of misconception, anything that may be holding other people back. You know, they may be held back because maybe they're having a misunderstanding of what it was, right? So to move forward with love and acceptance, it's really important to be honest and authentic and don't fake it. If you feel a way, you feel a way. Work that out. You know, there's so much on the other side of that. There's so much love. There's so much peace. There's so much unity and harmony surrounding you, you know. And honestly, we all deserve this peace. You know, we all deserve to be supported by the universe. We just forget to ask for help. We forget to allow ourselves to be supported. Okay? You have to ask. You have to allow the divine team around you to assist and show you where you don't know. And I promise you, the universe is on your side, though. And your divine helpers, whatever that is to you, whether it's your angels or whatever you believe in, they are there, and their purpose is to offer you exactly what you need in that moment, but you have to open up and ask for their assistance, okay? When you do that, when you can open your heart, which is really, truthfully, the veil between heaven and earth, okay? So when you open your heart, you're receiving your signals here, you're seeing it here, you're speaking it here, okay? And then when it gets to your heart, you decide whether you love it or it loves you, whatever you're going to do, and then you open your heart up for it to come down into the rest of you and actually manifest in the physical. So when you do that, you take guided action steps that will really, really help you regain a lot of that inner strength that we've all, you know, kind of lost in those chapters in our life in 2020. And again, to feel the energy around you really helps you to take actions that are the best, highest and best for you and everyone around you. So, you know, with that said, I want you today to just really, truly think about what direction do you want to go in? What do you want from your life? What are you here to do? What did you come here to do? Think about what you want in your life, you guys, and then start taking action steps to make that happen and leave the past in the past. It doesn't matter. The past is already done, you guys. It's already been done. You can't change it. There's no amount of thinking about it, worrying about it, coulda, shoulda, woulda, that can change it. You can't change it. What you can change is disconnecting from that and looking forward and actually putting your energy, instead of leaving it here, looking this way and making your best life happen for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. Only you can do it. But the thing is that because we are still kind of dealing with some of that energy of 2020 here on the planet, it's moving out, but it's still kind of mixed with, you know, our emotions. I mean, everything was highly charged. So, you know, there are a few more things that we're all being called to release, even myself. Things have come up in the last couple of weeks that I thought that I had released and forgot about, you know. I mean, I didn't even realize it was still affecting me. But these triggers come up so that you can go, oh, okay, why am I triggered? Okay. Instead of feeding into those triggers, stop yourself. Why am I triggered? What is this? What am I trying to tell myself? What is the need that wasn't met? How can I meet that for myself? How can I fill my own cup? How can I release and forgive? Okay, we're all being called to release and forgive, all of us, in many ways. And remember that these things that are hidden within you are being shown for a reason. And the other thing is what you hide about yourself from the world, you are also keeping hidden from yourself. Remember that. Remember that. And what you have been trying to do in your life or manifest, you cannot. If you are lying to yourself, you cannot. These lies that you keep ignoring, or the things about yourself that you hide from everyone else, including yourself, are keeping your heart blocked. And when your heart's blocked, you can't send love. You can't receive it either. So I urge you today to ask yourself, what do I have left to release? Get your pen and paper out, guys, because you'll tell you. Ask yourself, do I see it? Where am I lying to myself? Where am I not being truthful or authentic? Also ask yourself, how about those self-imposed blocks that you put on yourself? Self-imposed blocks. What are they? Self-imposed blocks are like self-sabotage, are blocks that you put up because of something that happened to you, where you created a belief about it, a negative belief about it, where you think you have to protect yourself. So you'll put up blocks and walls, and then walls around the walls and blocks around the walls, caging yourself in. And unfortunately, until you break those walls down, you're never going to make the choices or decisions that will lead you to your highest path, because you're not able to. You won't even think about making those choices. They'll be afraid to. So we're all being called to release all of our self-sabotaging thoughts too. All of these patterns and these ideas that we've been carrying around most of our lives about ourselves and about the world. And I'm telling you, there's a huge universal awakening happening. We already know this. But this awakening of humanity that's happening in this very moment comes as a reminder to every single one of us that the only person standing in your way is you. It's also reminding all of us that the world is on your side, okay? You just need to get out of your own way and start living the life that you want without making excuses. Stop making excuses why you can't, because you can. You absolutely can. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Anyone can. Honestly, these excuses that you give why you can't do the things that your soul is showing you, your purpose or purposes or whatever it is you came here to do, these excuses are really just fears. And when you can acknowledge this and really just admit to yourself that you feel that way, that you're fearful, you're scared, it allows you to push past it, because then you realize, oh my goodness, why am I holding myself back? Why am I afraid of that? You know, fear is honestly, you guys, fear is a natural and a normal part of the human condition, okay? But we came here, we manifested, light manifested into the physical, okay? We came here to rise up. We came here to learn. We came here to learn how to believe in ourselves more than our fear. So today, I ask you to please believe in your light more than your fear. Work out whatever you have to work out so that you can do that. And if you let go of old relationships that aren't working, and you got those unempowering people out of your life and out of your energy, and you lovingly leave them in the past, then you can be in your own energy. Then you can recognize patterns and cycles that were unhealthy, that where you stopped listening to you, okay? Where did you stop listening to you? Where are you making other people more important, okay? Where are you codependent with other people? And now that you're looking around into these deep, deep, deep things within you, and you're looking at what you have left to release so that you can step onto the higher path and actually live the easy life, your guides, your angels, your higher self, God, whatever that means to you, are all calling you and encouraging you to release that. For those of you that are new to me, okay, that don't know a whole lot about me and my journey, let me tell you, those that have been with me for a while, that have watched my transformation, you guys know very well, since this time last year, actually, it's been a couple years, I have spoken about how 2020 was going to be a new beginning year. I started speaking about that in 2018. I knew that big things were going to be shifted and jolted in 2020. I saw visions of this in like 2016. And although I didn't know exactly how it was going to unfold, I knew it would unfold, okay? And I knew that 2020 would be the catapult that launches us into new beginnings, okay? A year of completions. 2020 was a year of completions. From the beginning of the year, we were all beckoned to start new chapters in our lives. And we have all been called upon in different ways to break free of these old patterns and start something new, you guys. We all felt the call. We all felt the call. Every human being felt the call. It's a matter of whether we understand it or we think we're a victim. Okay? And for those of us who actually listened to the call and actually understood that we were not being attacked, we were being blessed so that we can get rid of the mess. It has been an extreme year of transformation and growth for those of us that have actually listened and done the work. And transformation like this amount of transformation, okay, transformation this big can be extremely challenging, and it even was for me. But perhaps many of you are hearing me speak, but also are like, yeah, I know, Becky Jo, I get it, but I'm still feeling zapped and I'm still feeling depleted at this point because, a lot of people are still carrying around old energy with them. From 2019, from 2018, from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe even 50, 60 years ago. For people that carry that around without even realizing it, 2020 was an absolute roller coaster for them. So many people had no other choice than to come to these really hard truths in their life. and I'm sure you can relate, where you were being shown so that you could finally step out of these old patterns and loops that humanity has been stuck in for over 2,000 years. It's time. There's absolutely no reason for humans to come here and live in hell like we have. And for me personally, I finally in the last couple years recognized and ended so many unhealthy cycles and patterns that have been in my family and in my lineage for generations. I became the answer to my ancestors' prayers, literally. And I finally saw clearly and I understood why I was stuck in those unhealthy relationships, why I was stuck in those unhealthy patterns over and over and over, okay? But guess what? Once I recognized that, I actually took the action steps to push past any limits or boundaries I was making, any blocks that I was putting around myself, safety nets. It was very uncomfortable. I'm going to say that. It was not easy. It was very uncomfortable. And it was some of the deepest, darkest moments of my life was actually facing my demons that held me down into my own prison. But truthfully, you guys, and many of you heard me say this, and I'm going to say it again, it was the best thing I have ever done for myself, was to face each one of these things that held me in these deep prisons, deep inside, and to actually face the places and spaces within me where I did not love myself, where I hated myself, where I thought I wasn't worthy, where I mirrored other people's beliefs. And it kept me trapped in a so-so life that wasn't what my soul came here to do. But in facing my demons, so to speak, you guys, I actually healed and released these old programs that told me I was not enough, okay? I actually was able to break free of the places and spaces within me where I thought that I wasn't lovable because other human beings had told me that most of my life, that I was not lovable or that I was not worthy. We'll just say that. And I believed that. I believed that about myself, and it kept me hung up and it kept me stuck in places that were not nice in this world. And I'm glad I experienced it. I'm glad that I overcame it. And now on the other side of it, I can feel exactly why I went through all of it. You know why? For my highest and best life. For my new beginning, where I see myself for who I truly am now, not for what humans told me I was. So now that I've shared that with you, let's talk about how to get on the other side of that. Because so many of you feel inspired and want to do that too, but it's like, how do I do that? I don't know how. So if you're ready to transform your life, the very first thing you need to understand is that you are your own universe, okay? Your own universe. Each one of us is. We're our own little universe, okay? Which is connected to our source, which is God. And we are living in a vibrational universe, okay? And this isn't just some cliche words out of my mouth. I mean this literally, okay? Everything in modern science today tells us that we are living in a vibrational universe. Everything is moving, okay? Including you, including your spirit, including your emotions, including your mind, your thoughts, your consciousness, okay? So everything in the universe, in the big universe, outside of your universe, is all directed by that universal intelligence of sound and light and matter, okay? Even human beings, we are finally now realizing that what Jesus said 2,000 years ago is true, okay? Finding out that you, simply put, are energy. Each one of us, each one of our universes, our energy vibrating at different frequencies. And what we see as solid matter in the outside world, it only appears to be solid, you guys. Everything's moving. But if you look at such matter at a subatomic level, okay? So like a tree outside or even my hand. If we look at that at a subatomic level, you guys, guess what? It's really not matter anyway. It's energy. It's pure energy. It's pure frequency. We are all vibrating consciousness. Human means light manifested. Hue means light. Man, manifest. Okay? You are consciousness manifested into the physical world. And I know this is deep, and I know this is radical, but it's true. So, love, the energy and frequency of love, okay, is the ultimate, highest frequency that governs our universe. And this is not fairy tale stuff, you guys. This is the truth. It's 528 is the frequency. It's the hertz. Love is what governs your personal universe or blocks it. Okay? So, when you are in a space of love, okay, think about when you feel love. Like, think of something you really love, whether it's a kitten, a baby, football, whatever it is that you love. You can experience that feeling, that vibrational resonance here. So when you're sitting in a space of love and just loving your life, or, loving whatever it is you love, you will spontaneously, on an energetic level, without even logically thinking about it or knowing you're doing it, align yourself with your highest and greatest vibration, you guys. Okay? So you don't have to think. This isn't logical stuff. This is energetic. So in other words, when you feel love, you are vibrating at the highest possible frequency that a human being can actually embody. Okay? So with that said, when you make the choice for love in everything you do, when you make the choice to do everything you do through a frequency of love for everything and everyone around you, not just yourself, you are choosing that you would like to live your highest and best life, you guys. It's really that simple. I know it seems complex, but it's really, truly that simple. You are choosing to embody love as your main frequency, and that is the difference, my friends, between living in the dark and living in the light. Because when you're in the dark, you have your love vibration shut off in your heart. You're disconnected here. Your universe is dark, okay? I used to live in that kind of a universe. I know. So when you open your love light in your heart and you live your life through love, loving yourself and loving your life and loving all human beings around you, no matter who or what they are, and letting the rest fall away. Allowing what isn't love to fall away out of your life. One limited belief at a time. One negative mind programming at a time. One person, one place, one situation at a time that is not love. When you do that, you then begin to recreate your own universe. And love is the best remedy for every single ailment on earth, you guys. It is. It is. And learning to make the choice to be love, to embody that and be love, to embody love, is the ultimate solution to every single problem that human beings could ever face. I wish every human being could feel this and know this and understand this. This is what Jesus tried to teach us 2,000 years ago. It is the highest and the best choice that any human being can ever make while we are here on schoolroom earth, you guys. Why? Well, because Jesus came here to show all the other people, because humans were not getting it back then, just like we don't get it now. He came here to show humans how to actually be the light that you are, how to choose love, and how to let love become you, how to embody the ultimate, highest, and best life, to be that. And I personally believe with all of my heart and soul that he was the ultimate role model for each and every single one of us. And I don't mean that in a religious way. I mean that in a loving, heart-centered way. When we allow our ego, as Wayne Dyer says, edging God out, that misconstrues, that human part of us that can misperceive things and misunderstand things. When we allow this to overcome us and tell us lies about ourselves, when we listen to other human beings' versions of things instead of listening to the higher version of things, we find out that life, and I used to live this way, life feels very separate. You feel very separate. You feel very alone. You feel very abandoned. You feel very rejected. You feel misunderstood. And you feel like things just are not right. Like no matter what you do, no matter where you go out there, you're never going to find anything to fill your cup and make this feel better. But the opposite of this is thinking and feeling and embodying what? Heart-centered consciousness, or love, okay? When we choose to give love, even when we've been hurt, okay? And I know this is really hard to do at first. Believe you me, I know. It's very, very hard to do at first. But when we choose to be the love we never received from other people, when you choose that you do not ever want another human being to suffer the way that you did, so you're going to do your part by being that love. Even when you haven't been loved correctly by others, even if you've never received that, you're going to be that anyway. When we choose to embody love and help others feel loved, even when you haven't received this by those you wanted to receive it from so badly, okay? And one more thing, as we wrap this up, when we make the highest choice possible and decide that we are the love we seek, we are automatically aligned with the highest possible outcomes and paths and frequencies in our own personal universes, you guys. And when you are in a vibration of love, you heal all you come into contact with without even knowing you're doing it. We all know that feeling of just being around somebody who seems to be lit up. That's somebody who's in their love vibe, okay? Without if you can do that without thinking you need to be thanked for it, okay? Just be the love. Go out there into the world and be the love that you wish to receive. But be that for strangers. without needing the glory of going on Facebook and saying, I did a good deed today, or look what I did, or I did, It's okay to do that, but I'm telling you that that's not the highest path. That's a higher path, but that's not the highest path. The highest path is doing it without needing recognition. And when you do that, you are aligned as a loving, faithful servant of the universe. When you are in loving service with the universe, you are a disciple of the universe. You are the ultimate channel of divine love on this planet. Isn't that why you're here in the first place? Isn't that why we came? To learn how to go from darkness into the light. We thought we could separate from God. That's why we came here to earth. Because we thought we could separate from God and choose our own will and do our own thing. But what humans are now learning is that we've never been separate. We only separated ourselves in our mind. Okay? So the old saying that love heals all, okay? Think about that really deep and long today, you guys, and just feel into the truth of the matter as you begin your day, as you go out into your life, into your worlds, whatever you're doing. Love is the ultimate solution, the highest and best vibrational remedy for everything that could possibly ail a human being, you guys. It's true. It is so true. And when we realize that there is literally no situation that will not benefit from being met with more love. If you go out into the world and somebody's mean to you, meet them with love. If you go to the grocery store and someone butts in front of you in line, meet them with love. If you're on the highway driving and somebody's honking and waving and shaking their fist at you, meet them with love. More love, more love. When somebody's broken and angry or doing drugs and alcohol or whatever it is, give them more love, not less. More love, more love, more light makes everything all right. Keep saying that. No matter what you are faced with in this life, the solution is more love. I promise you, I'm living proof of this. I'm living proof of this, you guys. More love, not less love, more love. More love for yourself, more love for others, more love for your journey, more love for your challenges, more love for your pain, more love for your misunderstandings, more love for your humanness, more love for your fear, more love for your battles, and more love for every single part of you that is afraid and doesn't want to give more love. I love you guys. I love you. Love is always the missing ingredient to every dilemma. Have a wonderful, blessed week. God bless your journey. And until next time.